So why Windows? First of all, it's robust operating system. It can be easily integrated with the Microsoft Office servers, and if you are developing with Microsoft products, you don't need any usage for installing drivers or tweaking your devices. Everything should work fluently. Just hook up with the USB cable, open your Visual Studio, and you can start playing. So we talked enough about all the frameworks of the mobile world and what we have and what we would like to do. Let's display a problem and take a look on how to solve it. So the problem I chose to introduce today is a mobile off-board dictionary, which means that if we will take a scenario that I'm walking in France or wherever, and I'm looking on a street sign and I don't know what it says, I would like to have the ability to open my phone, click some words, and get translations. So we will talk about a mobile client which will enable us to get translations to our unknown words. And how will it be? We will use an HTTP connection in order to talk with our servers, which already gives us a web service that makes the translations. HTTP is standing for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's based on TCP, and you are sending a request, you are getting back a response. We will use a specific URL in order to designate our server and to send a command to it. Okay, so let's move to the code. I will start with displaying the code for Android. Basically, the code is fairly simple. I just created an application from the Android wizard inside the Eclipse environment. And I have a single function inside this application which is called doGetTranslation. The doGetTranslation gets inside it as a variable a string which denotes the term to be translated. And you can take a look on those lines which can display how fairly simple is it to make an HTTP connection to a web server, get the response, and display it inside any widget. And we will take a look on the doGetTranslation method that I've developed. It's a simple method that gets a string as a local variable and translate it using the web service that we already built earlier. We will call the string term, and we will open an HTTP connection. We will give it the designated URL for the web service. You can take a look that you can notice that we are using the URL, and inside the URL itself we are placing the terms which we would like to translate. Once we set the URL, is the address for our request, and we set the HTTP connection. We are opening the connection itself, fetching it inside to our application. We can dispose those lines which are not fairly necessary to do our task. And the only issue we have to config inside this code is the method that we would like to perform in this HTTP request. HTTP request can be divided into two methods. The first method is get, and the other method is post. The get method just sends a URL and get back the response. The post method sends a URL and also a body into the request, which enables us to send sounds or files or images translated or to be manipulated in the server side, and then we can get back the answer. So once we set the request method, which should be get for our server, we are calling the connect function of the HTTP connection, and we are waiting for a response. If the response itself worked OK, which means that the server found the translation for the terms that we are looking for, we will go to the decode translation function, which is hiding here. And this function is a little bit longer and less important. The issue that we wanted you to see is using the HTTP connection. Let me run this application. I'm talking too much. You can see that I placed the term Android inside the doGetTranslation function, and currently I will move into the logcat so we can see the output of the application, and let's make it run. Okay. The application is connected to our server. Send the term into the server. The server has translated it to English and also used the German dictionary, which is implemented inside it, and also the Turkish one. That's it for the Android. Let's take a look on how it is to do the same. So what do we need in order to do it in Windows Mobile? We have to get a simple application with one form. I choose the simple form, just placed inside it a mean to enter a text box, and a button. In the same manner that we showed earlier in the Android application, we use the same URL with the embedded term inside it. This time the terms come from the text box, and it is not hard-coded inside the code, since we have a little more time to do it. And what are we doing? We are creating a string of the URL itself, and then we are performing an HTTP web request. The same figure we have to make we have to configure the HTTP request method, which should be the same, which is get method. We are waiting for response, and once the response is coming back to us, we are decoding the stream and showing the output inside our view. So let's take a look at it in live run. Okay, so this is our application. Let's say we'll take John for John Bryce and see what comes up. Okay. So we clicked the button for translate or send, and then we see that the breakpoint is standing here. The URL itself denotes the term John for translation, and we would like to get it in the English language. So we are preparing the HTTP request, setting the method for sending it, waiting for response. This should take a while since the server has to translate and send us back all the information. We got the response. The response is positive since the response itself is not null. We are getting inside it, and believe me, there is a decoder here that decodes the string. Once we get the string decoded, we can see that we have all the info that we needed about John.